What if America is wrong about democracy? What if the advice we typically give to other countries to hold elections as soon as they can, and the strategies we sometimes employ to spread democracy, like military intervention, are actually built on faulty assumptions? Consider the following. Over the last 50 years, among less developed countries, those nations that emphasized economic growth first and saved political reform for later, like Taiwan, South Korea, Singapore, and Hong Kong, have actually outperformed not only economically, but politically those countries that started with political reform. Think of India, Russia, Pakistan, even Brazil. Now, why would this pattern hold? The 12 years I spent living, working, and managing in China convinced me that the key to understanding this pattern is culture. When you see a foreign culture up close and work with it every day, you realize that cultures can, in fact, be very different, and that those differences can have a huge impact. Now, if you're doing business in China, you will want to understand the cultural differences, particularly since the cost of not adapting to those differences can be very steep. But beyond business, and as regards democracy, we need to understand the critical role that culture plays, particularly how cultural change is imperative to successfully develop democracy. And relative to cultural change, two things we need to remember. Number one, it is primarily economic liberalization and growth that drives the cultural change necessary for democracy. And number two, cultural change takes time. And I don't mean just in months or years, but in decades. I think if we truly understood the role that culture plays in democratization, the approach that we take to supporting the spread of democracy would change dramatically. And in the end, we'd have better results.